Hello Slicey Dicers, this is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the Berg Blades Iron Pup. This is a knife that I'm very excited to bring a review to you finally. I've had it for a few months. I did not do the review previously because they were unavailable. They still are unavailable, but they're coming back in November. To explain why it's unavailable, this is made by Berg Blades, Matt Berg out of Arizona, designed by Matt Berg out of Arizona, built by We Knives in China. They did a fantastic job. We'll get to that later. Gorgeous little knife. He did a very small run of like 200 of these. I think he showed them at around 200, showed them at Blade Show. They mostly all sold out. A few were available on the site afterwards. I was lucky enough to snag one. At the time I bought this, which was just several days after Blade Show, there were two. It came in two configurations at that time. This carbon fiber black coated satin blade or carbon fiber stonewash. I chose this one because I really like the satin blade. The ones that will be available in November are green micarta, sourced in the US, shipped over to We so they can make them, which is a nice little touch. And they are that green micarta, which is really, really nice, and stonewash. Those are $220. I do believe this was $200 when I bought it, but the $220 is probably for the shipping the micarta back and forth and all that kind of stuff that does incur some costs. But trust me, it's well worth it. This is quite possibly my favorite knife in my collection, and we'll get to why in the conclusion. But it's quite possibly, it's definitely up there. It's top three, absolutely. I really, really love this thing. I did send this off to Eugene Kwan. He did a review because he doesn't mind teasing you people about stuff that you can't get. So, no, I'm just giving him crap. It's a great review. Go look at that. I watched it a month or two ago when he did it. I don't remember exactly what he said. So go compare and see what our opinions are if you do like it. Great channel, by the way. Definitely go check out Eugene's channel. He does an awesome job with a lot of really high-end stuff. If you just want to drool over things, great channel to go to. But anywho, yeah, I do really like this knife, but let's do some size comparisons and stats and all that stuff before I get too crazy gushing about this thing, because I really do like it. You have an overall length of 6 3/4 inches, blade length of 3 inches, blade thickness of 0.155 inches, handle thickness 0.54, and a weight of 3.45 ounces, so not too bad on the weight. Not super light, but this is a titanium bolster lock, not really a frame lock, bolster lock, so, and it's got a pretty thick blade, so that's not at all a bad of a weight. Let's do some size comparisons. I'm going to do a bunch because this is a pretty rare knife, and you might not have seen one, so just going to do. We have your Spyderco Para 3 and Paramilitary 2. You can see very close in size to the Para 3, much slimmer knife, but overall length it is. And one more standard, and then we will, I'll compare it to some other kind of nicer 3-inch knives that are on the market. You have your Spyderco Delica 4, a little bit shorter than that. Now, some other ones you might be thinking about. This one isn't too rare. A couple of these I'm going to show you are also kind of hard to get your hands on, but this is the We Rectifier. You can get these everywhere. Very, very close in size to the Rectifier. Also made by We. Not currently available, but will be soon. Again, the Ferrum Forge Gent from Mastrop. Very similar in overall size, length, and stuff to that. This is a much slimmer, slightly lighter knife, not dramatically so, a little bit lighter, slimmer. Oh, your Benchmade Saibu. Again, pretty similar in overall length to that. And lastly, here's another one that's will be available again eventually, but they do them in runs. This Three Rivers Manufacturing Neutron, one of my absolute favorites, as you can see. A little bit shorter than the Neutron. Okay. Let's talk more about this thing. Design-wise, I really like it. We talk about little big knives, and when I say little big knives, I'm usually referring to something shorter blade than this, something that 2.5-inch range, you know, like your Kaiser Mini Sheepdog, your CRKT Pilar, your Fox Knife Suru, something like that. This is a bit longer blade, but it still kind of has that bulkiness of a little big knife, because it is fairly small. It's only a 3-inch blade, but it does have that bulky feeling to it. It feels really solid. It just feels like a really hardcore built knife, and we knocked it out of the park with the fit and finish on this. I've handled so many WE knives. I've handled so many knives that WE has made for other people. I even just showed you one. The Gent here is made by WE. They always do a great job, but I will say, without reservation, this is the nicest built WE I've ever handled. It's really, really, really well done. These bolsters for the bolster lock and stuff, I can't even feel like a transition there. It just feels like one solid piece, and it isn't. It's amazing. I can feel a hair of one on this side, but I mean, like, if I use my fingernail, but other than that, I can't hardly even feel it. The bolster lock is really well done. This is the only bolster lock that I have, and I really like it. Everything is very well machined. Everything's chamfered and nice, but it's not overly rounded and chamfered, because I don't think that would really fit the personality of this knife. If everything was all really roundy instead of kind of angular like this, the angularness, that it should be that way on this knife. I just think the design and the construction are just freaking outstanding on this thing. It feels very well built. It feels special, which we will talk about more at the end. It's just it feels like a much more expensive knife than it is, and it ain't cheap. I mean, $220 for the micarta version, that's coming up. That ain't cheap, but it feels even more expensive than that. It really, really does. At the blade, it's not the slicing champion of the planet. It does have a very sturdy tip on it for sure. But as I said, 0.155 inch blade stock. It's not terribly thin. 22 thousandths behind the edge. Fine, but not mind-blowingly thin. It is a kind of a saber grind here. It cuts fine. It did come very sharp out of the box, I'll say that, but it cuts perfectly adequately. But it's not going to be a slicing machine. Like in this 3-inch range, it's not gonna be, you know, the Rectifier or the Neutron by any means. Not nearly as slicey as either of these, but still pretty good. I'm fine with the blade on it, because it, again, fits the personality of this knife, and this knife has so much personality that I'm fine with that. Ergonomically, pretty good. It does, you can feel that pocket clip, a very nice titanium mill pocket clip, by the way. You can feel it. It's not bad, but it's definitely there. If you're one of these people who just wants the pocket clip to completely disappear, that's not going to happen. The jimping works very, very well. It's a perfect blend of being enough to provide really good traction, but it's not so crazy it's going to tear your thumb up. My skinny little fingers, I can choke up on it. I don't know if everybody's going to be able to do that, but on the other hand, it does make an excellent sharpening choil. I will say that, so that's really nice. Oh, and if I didn't mention, blade's S35VN. I think I forgot to mention that in the blade while we're talking about the sharpening choil. S35VN, pretty easy to sharpen. Good blade steel for this price. Perfectly fine with that. As far as how it carries, not too bad. You got a little bit sticking up there. It drops down to about here. So you've got a little bit sticking up, but not a ton. It's fine. It is it's not very tall at all. You've got just over an inch if you don't count the flipper tab sticking out. It carries really well. I carry it all the time. It works great. But what I love about this thing so much, what blows me away, is the action on this is just, mwah. Oh, it's perfecto. It's just so good. WE's always have pretty good action, but with a 3-inch knife like this, it's often kind of hard to get it to be super drop shutty because the blades aren't that heavy. Now this is a thicker blade. It's a bit heavier than some others in this size range, but this one is just, watch this. Oh, it's so good. It's so smooth, and I know this is like the usual WE ceramic bearings in here, but I don't know what it is about it. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so nice. The action is just awesome. Super solid bang when you flip it open. I did talk about this in a video where I did my most fidget-friendly knives. This is definitely on that list. if you get it just right, I'm going to try and do it on camera, but I'm probably not going to be able to. I think I succeeded in that other video, but yeah, I can't make it do it now. If you catch it just right, you get a bit of a carbon fiber hollow echoiness off of this, and it makes a kind of musical little sound. Yeah, I can't do it right now, but I love that. I think it's cool. When it catches it just right, it's just a little thing. The micarta probably won't do that, but these carbon ones do it. It's very, very nice. The action on it is just addicting. Detent, absolutely freaking perfect. It's just, it's so good. I really love the action on it, and that's probably my favorite thing. It's just, you sit there and move this, and it doesn't feel like, people talk about hydraulic, this is the epitome of that. It's just, there's nothing there. You feel no idea there's bearings there. That oil on glass, whatever adjective you want to use to apply to the smoothness of this, it counts. So obviously my conclusion on this is very positive. It is probably one of my favorite knives that I own, mostly because it's 3 inches, so there are areas of my town, if I have a gig downtown and stuff, I have to carry something under 3 inches. I have a lot of really nice under 3-inch knives, but this possibly, I can also say along with the Neutron, there's something about them that, and probably maybe even a bit more so this, it feels special. It's just a specialness. It feels like a full-on custom expensive knife. You know, it's still small, but it still feels beefy. It still feels like it wants to do some heavy-duty crazy stuff. And it's just so nicely made that I would whip this out in the middle of Blade Show, surrounded by every other YouTuber, and no one would give me crap about it. Everybody be like, "Oh, sweet, those things are awesome." They are so good. I know a lot of other YouTuber and industry people bought them at Blade Show, and we all seem to love them. It's just a fantastic 3-inch knife. It is the smaller brother of the Iron Wolf. When the Iron Wolf comes available again, it was also made by We Like This. You can bet your sweet bippy that I will be first in line to get one. I love this one, but I would like to have a bigger one too, if nothing else to complete the set, but also I just think I'd really, really like one. If any of you guys have an Iron Wolf that you're interested in selling, please let me know. I would love to get my hands on one. Just great knife, great designer. Communicated with on Instagram a little bit, asking him some questions both before and after I bought this. Was always really quick to respond, usually in very quick sentences, but he's a busy dude, I'm absolutely sure. Small shop, but oh my god, this is great. It's really, really nice. If you have your chance to get your hands on one, I highly recommend it. $220 available in November. I know it's only September when I'm doing this, so it's still a bit of a tease, but bookmark bergblades.com, keep hitting refresh beginning of November, make sure you don't miss out. Awesome knife, and I'm glad that I finally had an excuse to review it for you guys, because I've been sitting on this for a couple, 3 months. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.